Hello and welcome to this video. I'm Randy Chalmers with Louisiana Housing Authority, and today we're going to discuss what is a mortgage perfection of chain of title. But before we do so, make sure you click that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, because I post real estate information like this all the time and you don't want to miss it. So what is a mortgage perfection chain of title on a promissory note and also on a mortgage deed? Now, in another video, I discussed what is a chain of title. And very simply, a chain of title is the history of the property's ownership. In another video also, I talked about the difference between what is a mortgage and deed of trust. And I want you to make sure that you find those videos, watch them, because that's going to give you more information to arm you with more knowledge. Now, for this particular video, we're going to talk about the mortgage perfection of chain of title. There's two documents that you sign at the closing table when you purchase your home. One was a promissory note, which is your promise to pay, that lays out the term and conditions of the loan, how much the loan was, which is, and also the amount you're going to be paying back over time. That's your promissory note, right? The second major document that you signed was a mortgage or a deed of trust, depending on what state that you're living in. In a non-traditional state, you're signed a deed of trust. In a traditional state like Louisiana, you sign a mortgage, right? And so that mortgage or deed of trust is an instrument that secures the promissory note, right? That's the instrument they use to give them power of sale to sell a property in case the borrower defaults, right? Now, those two documents oftentimes are not perfect, meaning that every time a new owner takes possession of that note, then at that point, it must be endorsed, assigned, and it has to be recorded in public office, right? Because remember, the chain of title is the history of the ownership. So anytime a buyer is looking to buy a house, one of the things that you want to do is check the title. You were looking for a clean, perfect chain of title, because this person that says they're the owner, right, may not be the owner, right? They may be a family member of the owner. They may be somebody that's pretending to be the owner, right? So you don't want to give them any cash and they run it off into the sunset with your money and they're not the actual owner. So that's why the chain of title gives you the history of the ownership. Now, what happens through the foreclosure process? Well, in the mortgage world, as you know, oftentimes your mortgage is sold to another mortgage servicer, right? Sometimes your mortgage might be sold 30 days after you close. So you might have went to ABC Mortgage Lending Company and they closed the loan, and in 30 days they sold your loan to another company. Now all of a sudden ABC 123 company is calling you and saying, hey, we're your new service provider, send your payments to us, right? That happens all the time. So whenever that mortgage is sold to another company, another corporation, that must be some transaction that happened. Number one, that promissory note must be endorsed, signed, and it has to be recorded in the public office, right? Whether it's you are in Louisiana, we have parishes, so it has to be recorded in the parish, right? Public record. If you're in other states, it has to be in the county, right? Public record. But that promissory note must be endorsed on the back, signed, and actually recorded. It's almost like a personal check or a business check. When you have a check and you write out a payment to someone, on the back of it, you have to do what? You have to sign it when you getting ready to cash it, right? So somebody gave you a check and you're getting ready to cash the check, you have to endorse it. So you turn it over, you sign it, and you give it to the bank and they deposit it. That gives you the right to deposit the check because you endorsed it, right? That's the same thing what happens with a promissory note. The promissory note has to be endorsed, it has to be signed, and it has to be actually recorded. Now, with the mortgage or deed in trust, that also has to be assigned to the new owner. That has to be assigned to the new mortgage servicer. And it also has to be recorded in public records. Now, neither one of them cannot be separate. They both have to be intact, right? So in other words, I want you to think of it like this. You have a dog, right? And you have his tail, right? So you have the dog, but the tail follows. The dog in our example is the promissory note. And the mortgage or deed of trust is the tail. So wherever the dog goes, the tail must follow. And that gives you a perfect chain of title, knowing that whenever that ownership was changed from one mortgage company to the next, that they had to have an endorsement on the promissory note, they have to have signature, and it has to be recorded. And then also that mortgage or deed of trust must be signed, and it must be recorded. That gives you perfection of title. If that does not happen, then you have grounds to fight and stop your foreclosure. Now, I'm going to give you a disclaimer. I'm not an attorney. You want to seek out a real estate attorney to give you legal advice. I'm giving you information in regards to knowledge, right? So for some education purposes only. So if you have any other questions, you have some concerns, then I encourage you to give my team a call, visit us online. We'll love to help you, and we can schedule a free foreclosure prevention consultation. So in the next video, I'll see you guys then, and have a great day on purpose. Take care.